We are sponsored by a Korean Tottenham Hotspur fan who wishes for all Koreans and the rest of the world to visit and discover Singapore.
Email Kelly for an introduction to Singapore at jrjinsingapore@gmail.com. That's jrjinsingapore@gmail.com.
What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here for instant match reaction as Tottenham have beaten the K-League All-Stars by 4-3. I think we said 4-3, didn't we?
We did. We both said 4-3. Didn't quite get the Jan Min-hyuk hat trick that we called for, but still 4-3 is not bad.
Yeah, I thought it was. I did think the game lacked a bit of quality, but I did think it was an exciting game to watch with a lot of goals. In the first half, I thought Spurs were better than they were in the second half. I think Kulusevski and Son Heung-min were absolutely running the show in the first half at certain times. Particularly, Sonny was really trying to put on a show for his local fans, wasn't he?
And he did.
And it definitely did with two brilliant goals, right out of the top drawer.
And he got an assist for the first one, didn't he?
Got an assist as well. And Decky, golden assist as well. I felt Decky, he's been a real standout, real shining light of this pre-season, hasn't he?
He makes such a difference, I feel, when he's in that number 9 position, when he can link the play together in the final third. He's kind of like the glue in that final third, kind of creating chances for other players. He draws attention as well, creates space for the other wingers to kind of get into goal-scoring positions. And I think it really helps the rest of the attack when Decky's in that kind of position. So, and obviously, what I like about him as well is he's still getting in those poacher areas, which he did for that first goal. And obviously, he did that against Sheffield United, against Man City. He was getting in similar positions as well. So he's kind of getting in those striker positions. I think he's really learning this role on the job while he's performing. And I'm really liking the way he's performing in that role. As you say, Sonny made it very clear yesterday in the interview with EA Sports that he sees himself more as a winger than a striker, even though people have criticised him playing as a winger. And that was one way to answer a lot of the critics today, playing on the left-hand side, getting into all sorts of goal-scoring positions, setting up the first goal with a brilliant Maisie run, which the keeper saved and fell to Deck, who scored. Second goal, another brilliant Maisie run when he cut inside and bent it into the far corner from the edge of the box, and Sonny, in pure Sonny territory, a goal which he said he hasn't been scoring under Ange Postecoglou, and then the day after he said that, he goes and scores one. And then probably saved the best till last with the third goal. Brilliant link up between him and Decky, and then little nutmeg and a cool finish into the corner, and what was a excellent third goal. And it was a starring showing from Sonny.
Yeah, it really was. Like I said, putting on a real show for the locals here, and I feel like Sonny, the friendlies in England, the pre-seasons in England, he didn't really get going. He was missing chances. Back in Asia, Japan, he put on a really good display, and this one topped the lot, didn't it? So he's really, growing and growing as the season's approaching. And
some golazos. He was saying he doesn't tend to score too many beautiful goals under Ange. He says he scores. Doesn't mean it's pretty as long as I'm scoring.
Probably his best one under Ange.
Brilliant. So two absolute bangers from Heung-min Son, and I'm sure the Koreans here watching must have been a real occasion to see that, because waiting for Sonny to come back home to Korea and then watching him score goals like that must have been a magical experience. It definitely was for us watching it in the stadium. Brilliant goals, and really great seeing Sonny in that kind of form.
And the stadium just erupted every time.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Never mind, every time he flicked his head, never mind got on the score sheet. Yeah. When he's got on the score sheet, the whole place went absolutely berserk, and it was just great to experience something like that here in South Korea. The midfield that we started today, Pat Bate-Sarr, Archie Gray and Lucas Bergvall, have been 21, 20 and 19 or whatever ages they are, very young midfield, and I thought they performed well. I think Sarr was probably the worst of the lot out of the three. I wasn't that happy with his performance, and it kind of followed on a poor display out in Japan. But I thought Lucas Bergvall, every time he got on the ball, he was trying to make stuff happen. He hit the post at one stage, and it looks like we've got a really classy player on our hands.
Yeah, he had this little, I know he was offside in the end, but he dinked this lovely ball to the back post to Brendan Johnson, who could have scored as well. It was a lovely dink pass from Bergvall. What was interesting though, we were following Sonny quite closely where we were sitting.
I bet you were.
And there was quite a number of times, especially earlier in the game, he was having a right go at Bergvall. He wasn't happy with him at all with a few things. So I think after that he got his act together a bit and really started to influence the game. But obviously, he hit the bar, didn't he? With a really, after there was a really good cutback from the left-hand side, and really nearly scored. When it comes to Archie Gray, I thought, to be honest, it was a bit of a mixed bag in that sixth position. I thought his ball carrying was brilliant. I thought off the ball, his awareness of where to be positioning, fantastic. However, I did feel like on the ball with his passing range, he struggled a
sloppy
bit.
passes.
Yeah, it wasn't just sloppy. I felt like when he was asked to do like a switch of play with little time, I felt he struggled a bit to pull it off. So maybe that's still a learning curve for him, but I thought there was a lot of good in that as well with his ball carrying ability, and I think his defensive awareness is absolutely superb. So a lot to build on. Obviously, he's still very, very young, but look, I thought it was a bit of a mixed bag in terms of him in that sixth position. Papu Matsar, yeah, and also a bit of a mixed bag. I don't think it was his best game. Did put a lot of energy into it, but I don't think he influenced the game as much as he could have potentially.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I feel like he put in a really strong opening 20 minutes against QPR, or was it against Hearts? I can't remember. QPR, yeah. Really strong opening 20 minutes, but I feel like he hasn't really reached those heights yet in pre-season, but hopefully there's more to come from him.
Well, let's talk about our new signing. We got 45 minutes from him today.
Yeah, I was really impressed with him in the first half. I thought he was the K-League's best player, albeit K-League did get better after he went off in that second half, and they were running rings around us a little bit in that second half.
There are reasons for that, but let's talk about Yamin Hyuk.
But I felt like there were two standout moments, weren't there? There was one, he absolutely took Emerson to the cleaners, turning him inside out, and there was another one where he was bursting down that left-hand side and he did hit it over the bar. But I felt like real positive signs, and I felt like he was, not way off the standard of the team that he was playing against.
I would say, watching him, he was probably their biggest threat, 100%. He was probably the one who was going to threaten him behind. He was the one who probably our defence were most worried about in that first half. So I think that's fair enough, and I think the chances that they created in the first half probably fell to Min Hyuk, and there was definitely moments he got on the ball and looked sharp, definitely on the turn, and a couple of moments. One you're talking about when Emerson, and there was another one as well. I think he was able to spin away from Porro as well, really impressively. He had the opportunity when he got in behind, had a shot over the bar. But what I would say is there was a number of opportunities where he picked up the ball and his passing was quite poor. I would say the technique on the pass wasn't very good. It was a lot of the time behind the play he was aiming at, or was a bit bobbly, and wasted quite a few opportunities. So still clearly quite a raw talent, I would say, Min Hyuk. But clearly there's definitely green shoots of potential. And when you're comparing him to his teammates who are supposed to be, the best players in the K-League, he definitely looked head and shoulders above them.
Yeah, absolutely. A conversation we were having in the predicted lineup yesterday, is it going to be Jed Spence, is it going to be Pedro Porro? It was Pedro Porro in the end, and I felt like he actually put in a strong display, and I feel like, I kept saying it in the first two games out in England, he looks rusty, but I feel like he's getting back into the groove now.
Yeah, and I thought he was looking sharp again in this one. I thought his passing was really good. I thought defensively, obviously he was dealing with Min Hyuk. I thought he dealt with him pretty comfortably for a lot of the game, albeit Min Hyuk was probably their biggest threat. But yeah, I don't have too much to say about Porro. We know he's a good player. I don't think we learnt too much from him today. But in terms of the second half, what I would say is we did struggle, obviously, especially in those opening 20 minutes. Obviously, they got 2 goals back. But I think a lot of it was they changed their whole 11 in that second half. And obviously, this is not, we're not facing just a team. We're facing all the best players in the K-League. So they're refreshing their whole 11. They're bringing some very pacey wingers on. We didn't change things up until I think it was the 60th minute.
I mean, we made what, 3 or 4 changes at half time.
We put on Skip and we brought on Madison. I think that was it at half time.
Skip, and Madison, Austin. Wasn't there one more? No, that was it.
I think that was it. That was it for the first half. And I think you could see the tired legs there. You could see the fresh legs were definitely helping the K-League. It was very hot in there, and it was very difficult conditions for our players.
And they're accustomed, acclimatised to this kind of environment as well, where the Spurs players, I felt you can see they were clearly struggling in that second half.
Yeah, and I think just those fresh legs, when you're able to change 11 players and they were able to all of a sudden, where in the first half when they had an attack we were very easily dealing with it. Second half when we had an attack and it broke down, very quickly getting into that number 70, I don't know his name, but he was every time getting us in behind and breaking that space.
He looked like a tricky customer.
He did, and we didn't have the energy to deal with it, to be honest, up until we made the changes. And then once we made changes in the 65th minute, obviously at 3-2 at that point, we regained control of the game, I felt, and I know K-League had a late flurry and probably could have made it 4-4, but we made those changes at 3-2, and we got back in the lead, and another great assist from Werner and Lancashire on the score sheet again.
Yeah, great play by Timo Werner, bursting down that left-hand side, low-driven cross into Will Lancashire, and Will Lancashire did well to put it in the back of the net. But I do feel like in the balance of play in that second half, I think K-League deserved more out of the game than a 4-3 loss.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot to do with obviously we were changing our 11 a lot, and a lot. I think obviously when they got back in the game, there was a lot of tired legs, and obviously these are very good players. I know people will scoff at the K-League, but these are the best players in the K-League, and that's no mean feat. And these are top players. A lot of them probably could, a few of them probably could be Premier League standard. So look, it was a tough game playing against some really good individuals, but we got through it. We won the game. Maybe a bit of luck, especially near the end when they had a number of opportunities. But I think we had some opportunities as well. We could have killed the game, and we didn't. Madison hit the post late on as well, didn't he?
He was trying so hard, Madison, in that second half, wasn't he? He was pulling the strings. I felt like he was our most impressive player in that second half, where he was trying, getting the ball down. He had so many shots. You see, he was desperate to put the ball in the back of the net, and I feel like he did everything but put the ball in the back of the net. Yeah,
and talking about Will Lancashire a bit, another goal for him, second goal in pre-season after a lot of talk about whether he'll go on loan or not. So maybe he wanted to remind everyone that he wants to stay here and he wants to fight for his place with another really good poacher's effort, and it was a good finish from Will Lancashire.
Looking at Will Lancashire today, he did well to get the goal, but I do feel like by watching him over the last couple of games, I do think he will benefit by going out on loan and playing regular first team football, because I don't think he's there just yet, which is expected. He's 19 years of age, only played under 21 football, so I think it's probably best for all parties if he does go out on loan this year.
And Mikey Moore again, we got a good look at him yet again, and in fact we actually got a good about 10 minutes of him out on the left hand side. He's swapped wings with Werner late on, and I thought he actually looked really good on the left as well as on the right.
He presses every time, doesn't he?
I thought, and I don't think he got involved, which he always does. He didn't have too much goal mouth action, I would say, in this one, but I thought he did really impress. He was looking bright yet again, and I thought when he was on the ball on the right hand side or the left hand side, he was threatening on either side. So that's really, really impressive yet again. Another good cameo.
One thing that really perplexed me today, you're hearing all these stories about Emerson Royale. Emerson starts the game, doesn't go off till 70th minute or something. He played like the most out of everyone on the team today. Yeah. And I was like, Radu Dragusin comes on with 20 minutes to go, or it was 20 minutes to go. And I'm like thinking, what is going on? Is he close to leaving? Is he not close to leaving? Why is he playing the most minutes today?
I don't know.
Isn't that such a strange decision?
In my opinion, yes. If he is close to leaving, I'll probably leave him out altogether, because he picks up an injury that could derail the deal, and you don't want that to happen.
Maybe it's not as close as these journalists are leading on to.
Maybe, or maybe they're saying, look, or maybe Andrew's thinking he's still our player, I'm going to play him. I don't know the thought process.
But it's like, there's one thing like, all right, he's my player, I'm going to play him, but to have him have the most minutes out of everyone in the team, it was just strange.
Tottenham making a statement saying to Milan, look, your bid's not high enough and we're going to play him. I don't know. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
To have the most minutes out of everyone is just weird.
Yeah, it's very strange. One player actually who didn't cover, I don't think he did badly, but I don't think covering himself in the most glory today was Austin. I thought in goal.
Second goal was poor.
He made some really good saves, but I did think the second goal wasn't great. And I thought the third goal, he was a brilliant volley from the K-League player, but he was a bit in no man's land for that goal as well. So he had some really good saves and performances early in pre-season, but didn't have his best one today. I felt.
Yeah, Austin, I completely agree with that. But look, a good day all round. Always a good day when you're in South Korea. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
The amount of people, again, supporters of the channel, is just absolutely mind blowing. Sim's got literally a whole bag of gifts that he's been gifted.
Watch the vlog, you'll see what you have.
I just want to thank you all for joining us. Thank you everyone for coming up. There's so many people even now just behind the camera taking pictures. It's just mind blowing and insane. But that is our instant match reaction. We go to Bayern Munich game on Saturday, which is the biggest test that we've had so far in pre-season. So it'll be interesting to see how we manoeuvre that one and how we get on and fare in that one in this kind of heat against a team as well that's not going to be acclimatized to these conditions. But that is your instant match reaction. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.